Yo, 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 what's good? How you doing, everybody? Yes. We got a full house tonight. Yes, we're going to have a lot of fun. The Clippers just won. So Marco and I said, hey, what the heck? Why not go live after this game? So I know you guys are going to be in here. I know you guys are going to be in here tonight. So we decided, why not give you guys a full reaction? So we're just going to wait for everybody to come in. It's a little bit late where I am, so we're not going to stay on too long. Let's just wait for everybody to get on in here. Let's do a quick celebration. I see you guys are happy. We were just on Dreamerspro Max, just now chatting during the game, and it was so much fun. So glad to see you guys are in here. Let's just give it a few minutes. Let's give it like 2-3 minutes, and we'll get started. I see everybody's happy in the comment section. Also, say what's good to Marco. Marco's also in here, guys. We're going to do a quick live reaction to this game. I know you guys are super happy. Yes, small ball wins. Small ball wins. Yes. Man, what about Terance Mann? What about Terance Mann in this game? Don't worry, guys. We're going to get into it real quick. We're not going to be on here too long. As you can see, it's kind of late where I am, so just bear with me here. How you guys doing? Yes, 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 yes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I guess that plane took off, huh? There's somebody that kept on leaving comments on our channel talking about, oh, karma's coming and all of this. See you in Cancun. I hope the plane took off. Sorry. I hope that plane took off. I hope the plane took off. Good. Let's wait for everybody else. Make sure you get the likes up. Let's give it 2 more minutes, guys. Let's allow everybody to catch up to this live because I know there's a lot of excitement out there. So I want to get everybody's reaction in here. So tomorrow we're going to do like a more kind of like put together live. This is just kind of like a reaction. So let's make sure everybody's in here. I see you guys are happy. I see you guys are happy. I see you guys are happy. Kawhi the man, I told you, but it wasn't just Kawhi. This was a team effort. This is a team effort. So let me just pull up the box score real quick while people are coming in. We're going to start in like 2 minutes. We're not going to be on here too long. So let me just get the box score so I can see exactly how it went. Now, this is not going to be like my normal analysis because I didn't actually get to sit down and really prepare. So I'm just going to give you guys my raw thoughts on everything real quick. So let's just wait for everybody to come in. Make sure you get the likes out. Just pulling up the box score here. Let's pulling up the box score and then we get it started. How many people we got in here? 200 people. Okay. Okay. I see a lot of familiar faces in the comment section. Also say what's good to Marco. And also shout out to the people that were on Dreamerspro Max that live chatted for this game. Again, if you guys want to be a part of round 2, you don't want to miss it. For the people that are already on there, see you guys in round 2. Team showed up big time tonight. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Let's give it a few minutes. Let's give it like 2 more minutes. Allow everybody to catch up. I can't talk too loud tonight, but hopefully we have some fun. Only going to be on here for about a half an hour. So, hey, how you guys doing? Strong win. Yes, it was. Even me, I'm surprised. Even me, I'm surprised, to be honest with you. Just going back like 4 or 5 days ago, you know, when they lost game 5, it's like, oh my God, it was really hard for me to see them coming back. But one game at a time, one game at a time. Okay. Let's give it about let's give it about 30 more seconds and then we'll get going. Let's just allow everybody to come on in here. So this live is just a live reaction. I'm not giving you guys any like strategy or anything. This is just a live reaction and just to get so you guys can celebrate because I know a lot of people had a lot of anxiety. Yes, they did. Okay, Candace Leo's here. She was also in Dreamerspro Max. I'm seeing some familiar faces. Somebody said, what? Somebody said, okay, let's just give it about 30 more seconds and we're going to start, guys. 30 more seconds. And then once everybody catches up, they'll catch up to the live. I told you that Luka will score 50 and he scored 46. Yeah, Luka did his thing, man. Luka did his thing. But okay, there goes Cato. I see Cato. Cato was also in there as well. Okay, yeah, Luka did his thing. Luka did his thing. PG not ready. PG was ready, man. Come on, stop that. We got to stop. I told you, we're done with that whole Paul George pandemic. I'm done with that, man. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Paul George did his thing, man. Paul George is playing much better than he did last year. So I'm kind of done with that whole Paul George stuff. Like, to be honest with you, Paul George did his thing, man. I'm not going to do that to him. Not on a win. Not on a win. I think he led the team in assists. So I'm not going to do that to Paul George. Okay. Anyway, guys. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what just happened. So I'm just going to give you guys my raw emotions on this game. First of all, let me just say this. Nick Wright. Let me just start off with Nick Wright for one quick second here. Few things I want to say about Nick Wright. Nick Wright picked the Clippers because after the Lakers lost, the team that he picked to win back-to-back games, game 5 and game 6, which they lost, Nick Wright was asked, "Oh, what about the Clippers? How do you think the Clippers are going to do?" He goes, "Oh, no. The Clippers, their vacation is only going to be delayed one day, just one day, because the Lakers lost on Wednesday." So he was saying the Clippers are going to lose on Thursday. So the Clippers, they're going to be on vacation just one day later. You got nothing to worry about. I cannot wait to see what Nick Wright is going to say about the Clippers tomorrow, because I'm going to be roasting and toasting these dudes tomorrow. Trust me. This is a live reaction. We're going to do a real live tomorrow. This is just a reaction live. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Something else real quick while we're talking about it. Hold up a minute. While we're talking about Nick Wright, y'all remember early in the season when the Clippers got Nicolas Batum? Who was the guy on TV laughing at the Clippers that they picked up Nicolas Batum? Wasn't it Nick Wright? If I'm mistaken, was Nicolas Batum not one of the biggest players as far as the impact that he had on his game 7? I think it was Nicolas Batum. Nicolas Batum had a fantastic game for the Clippers. So let me just start off talking about him real quick. Nicolas Batum, let me see what he put up in today's game. First of all, Nicolas Batum played 41 minutes. He got you 11 points. He played great defense. He got you 1 block, 2 steals, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, and he shot 57% from the field, and he made a 3-point shot. So first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Nicolas Batum. Nicolas Batum, a guy that was somewhere in Charlotte that was sitting on the bench, comes into a new situation, joins a team. He said it. Nicolas Batum said it. I'm going to get to your question. Nicolas Batum said it. He said before he joined the Clippers, or right after he joined the Clippers, I spoke to Kawhi Leonard. I saw what happened to Kawhi when people doubted him, and then he came back and won the title with the Toronto Raptors. So Nicolas Batum knew that he wanted to be a part of the Kawhi Leonard situation. You know how everybody says in the NBA, everybody wants to play with LeBron? No. There's some people that actually want to play with Kawhi, because Kawhi Leonard, it turns out, who knew? He was really, really good. Some of the people that said Kawhi Leonard was not that good and all of this, what you got to say now? Let me see your comment. Do you think the Clippers go to game 7 in the second round or third? I'm not going to get into that right now as far as what I think. I think we got to sit back and kind of like enjoy this moment and then really kind of sit back and try to analyze the next series. My emotions is still so raw from what just happened. I haven't even had a second to really sit back and think about what's going to happen in the next round. I'm just kind of like reacting to what I just saw just now. So first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Nicolas Batum, man. He had a solid game. And I know he made his home country of France, I'm sure he made them very, very proud. I'm sure a lot of people stayed up late to watch Nicolas Batum in France. Second person I want to talk about. I want to talk about Terance Mann. Guys, we got to talk about Terance Mann. Terance Mann was a hell of a... This is what I said. Terance Mann, for some reason, whenever he plays, good things seem to happen for the Clippers. He's only a second-year player in the NBA. He comes into the game. He plays defense. He knocks down threes. He slashes to the basket. He makes plays for everybody. He's out there hustling for offensive rebounds. Whenever you bring Terance Mann into the game, good things usually happen. And to put him, pretty much a sophomore, in a game 7, obviously he doesn't have the talent of Luka Doncic. Obviously, Luka Doncic is a one of one. And shout out to Luka Doncic because he had an amazing series. Listen, before I go back to Terance Mann, I don't know what to say about Luka Doncic, man. This dude is amazing. Luka Doncic is on it. Okay, hold up real quick before I get back to Terance Mann. Y'all know Luka Doncic finished the game with, first of all, he played 45 minutes. That's insane. He only sat for 3 minutes. He scored 46 points, got you 14 assists and 7 rebounds with what? Now, he had a lot of turnovers, but still he did his thing. He shot 56.7% from the field and 45% from the 3. Luka Doncic left it all on the floor. And I think the Dallas Mavericks at the end of this series are going to have to sit back and kind of look at that roster and say, okay, how can we get Luka Doncic some help? Because this guy, I don't think there's anything else he could have done. Like, he's just one man. I know he's so ball dominant. I know all of this, but I don't think Kristaps Porzingis is going to be a second running mate for him, to be quite honest with you. Is either Luka or bust. It's not the situation with the Clippers. If Kawhi Leonard has an off night, Paul George can erupt and get you 40. I don't know any other player on that Dallas Mavericks roster that can go out there and do the same. So I got to give a big shout out to Luka Doncic, man. Listen, he was a problem. He was a problem. And if we're looking at the Dallas Mavericks, from the Dallas Mavericks standpoint, he single-handedly kept them in that series and took his team to a game 7 against a very good Clippers team. You got to give that dude some props. So Luka Doncic had a hell of a series, man. You got to tip your hat to him. He was amazing. He hit some tough shots. And first of all, I just want to give him his props because I think as a basketball fan and all of us that enjoy basketball, you got to enjoy the fact that this dude can ball, man. He could really, really play. Even though he may be playing against your team and you may not be supporting him in the moment, I think at the end of that, we still got to give him props because Luka Doncic had a hell of a series, man. So shout out to Luka Doncic, man. He had an amazing series. And he didn't play so well in the second half, but at the same time, the guy still ended up with 46 points. So you got to give a big shout out to Luka Doncic. I'm not a hater in that way. The series is over, so you got to shake your opponent's hand. And Luka Doncic did his thing, man. Even Tim Hardaway Jr., he did his thing. Rick Carlisle made some great defensive. Made some great adjustments that really pushed this series all the way to Game 7. So shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. They had a really great series this year. So anyway, back to Terance Mann. Let me just say something about Terance Mann. Terance Mann was amazing. As I was watching that game, Luka is amazing, but just like LeBron, he has no off the ball. It's cut. Yeah, I would agree with that. He's very ball dominant. I think it's just the way he plays. I think as they say with LeBron is the system. And if LeBron James is not pounding the ball all the time, if the ball is not in his hands, LeBron is not very good at playing off the ball, as he just said. So, but that's the case of the personnel that you have. So, that's the type of player he is. Kawhi Leonard is not going to have such a usage rate, as Luka Doncic. He's just not. Kawhi Leonard is not going to be pounding the ball all game long. That's not his game. Kawhi Leonard is more focused on offense and playing great defense and can facilitate when need be and make big shots. That's Kawhi Leonard's game. But I don't think you can ask Kawhi Leonard. He could, but I don't think Kawhi Leonard could average 8.5, 9 assists for a season. I just don't think so, in my opinion. So I think they're two different type of players. But that's a good point you just brought up. Yes. So they're really good. So as I was watching that game, I got to say something really quickly. I got to talk about Reggie Jackson. Now, I know the Clippers were able to make it out of this series. We know the Clippers were able to make it out of this series, and they won. Fantastic. But I do want to say one thing about Reggie Jackson. Yes, he hit some timely shots, but Reggie Jackson has this. He kind of reminds me a lot of Lou Williams, man, in the sense that, in this sense, if Reggie Jackson is not hitting shots, if he's not scoring, there's nothing else he does. He's not going to play great defense. He's not looking to make a play for his teammates. So Reggie has this thing where if he'll get the ball and he wants to play hero ball, kind of like street ball. Reminds me of a basketball player that I used to like when I was a little bit younger, and Steve Francis. Likes to over dribble and then chuck up a 3-point shot at the end of the shot clock. They get a lot of that. And for me, I think Reggie, although he helped them win that game with his shooting, but he could have easily have shot him out of that game too. So it's something I want to say about Reggie. I think that although, yes, the Clippers just won. I know you hit a big shot at the end of the game, but let me just say this, guys. The Clippers got to find a way to make sure that in different stretches of a game, especially in a crucial game for like a 4 or 5 minute stretch, you can't have your offense running through Reggie all the time. It was so bad because I was saying it on Dreamerspro Max that I heard Mark Jackson, who was calling the game, he said, listen, if you're the Clippers, the ball has to be in either Kawhi Leonard or Paul George's hand and trust them to make a play. So that's just the one thing I think the Clippers need to be careful of moving forward. And I'll just say this one final thing. If the Clippers do end up making out of the second round and ultimately to the championship or whatever, I just want to say that they may need to look at kind of getting another player, because for the Clippers to move forward as an organization, this is just my opinion, Thank you guys for all the new people joining us. We're just doing a live reaction to this game. For the Clippers to move forward as an organization, they got to get some really high IQ basketball players in that organization, winning type of players. Mann and Luka gave us good. Yes, exactly. You need more players like Luke Kennard and Terance Mann, and less players like Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, and Reggie. It's not a shot, but you just need guys that play winning basketball. That's all I'm saying. This is not a shot. If you want to win a championship, this is what you need. If you want to just make it to the playoffs and have some exciting games, then you know what I'm saying. Then you're going to have those type of players. I just wanted to say that it's not a shot. This is just my opinion. So that we're done talking about that. Let's talk about Marcus Morris Sr. Thank you guys for all the people that are in here right now. We appreciate you guys being a part of this Clippers live reaction. Again, for the people that just joined us, we're going to be doing another live tomorrow and some videos tomorrow. This is just kind of a raw live reaction. So be on the lookout for a live that we got coming tomorrow. So anyway, let me just continue right now. Let me talk about Marcus Morris. Y'all know I've been saying that Marcus Morris is my favorite Clipper. Y'all know I've been saying that. Kawhi, my favorite player. But I just like Marcus Morris. I like the fact that he can play defense. He can hit threes. He has some toughness to him. He has a mid-range game. I think he's a very versatile player. I like Marcus Morris Sr. But let's just be honest. For the majority of this series, he has been horrendous. Horrendous. I think last game, game 6, he went 1 of 10 from the field. He shot 10% from the field. The dude, that was the second best three-point shooter in the NBA this season, couldn't hit a three, even if you, he couldn't hit a three to save his life. Shout out to Marcus Morris Sr. Today, he had a great breakout game. Ty Lue said it that, listen, we have not had a game where we actually shot the ball well. That's what Ty Lue said after they won that last game. So shout out to Marcus Morris Sr. He really hit some big shots today. If I go and look at the box score, let me see what Marcus Morris Sr. He scored 23 points. He scored 23 points. That's a bounce back game right there. 23 points. He got you 2 assists, 5 rebounds, played great defense. I got to say, he played great defense. He picked up some quick fouls in the first half, but he kind of got his head back on his shoulders in the second half. And he hit, think about this. Marcus Morris Sr. shot 53% from the field, and he hit 7 of 8 3-pointers. He hit 7 3-pointers this game. I think for the game, he shot 78% from the three. So he was due to have a big game. And what a game for him to pick to go 7 of 8 from the three. I think there was one game early in the playoffs against the Mavs. I think Tim Hardaway Jr., I think he hit like 6 threes in one game, and he had a breakout game. This is when the Mavs looked like they could not miss anything. So Marcus Morris Sr. finally had a breakthrough game. I want to give a shout out to Marcus Morris Sr. He had a great game 7. He had a great game 7. Hopefully he can have a carryover into the next round, because the team they're going to play in the next round, the Utah Jazz, is going to be no joke. Listen, Jeff Van Gundy said something, which I think is very important. Jeff Van Gundy said, it is hard as hell to win, especially in the Western Conference. It's not easy. It's not easy. You just beat a Dallas Mavericks team. It took you 7 games to do it. For God's sakes, the Lakers, the defending champs, they're in Cancun right now. They're in Cancun. I think LeBron James and Jared Dudley, they must have thrown their remotes at the TV when they saw the Clippers were winning that game. They're in Cancun. Nick Wright picked them. Shannon Sharp picked them. Kendrick Perkins picked them. Everybody picked them, and now they're in Cancun. So I guess it's not so easy, right? You know, the Clippers that everybody had, they had the brooms, was getting ready to sweep them up out of there. Oh, the Clippers are done. Kawhi Leonard. Hold up. Now I got to talk because some people told me to kind of talk you know what? Hold up. I got to throw some shots real quick. Hold up. I heard some people saying that Kawhi Leonard was not that dude. Some people were saying, hold up, Kawhi, he can't lead a championship team. He can't lead a team to a championship. He's no longer a great defensive player, is only on reputation. So if Kawhi Leonard is not a great defensive player and is only on reputation, so if LeBron James is the GOAT and he just got bounced in the first round, what I got to say, what you got for me? What you got for me? Because Kawhi Leonard, he is just off of reputation. He's in round 2, and then the dudes, it's not off of reputation. These dudes are sipping pina coladas in Cancun. Help me understand. Game 6, they told the pilot, delay the flight. Clippers are going to be here. Pilot told them, yo, them boys is serious. They're not coming. We might as well take off right now. They're not coming. We might as well just take off. Next thing you know, Jared Dudley texts him, send another plane, try to pick him up today on Sunday. Clippers didn't make it. So the people that was hating on Kawhi Leonard, where are you? Where are these dudes? There were people, oh, Kawhi Leonard, he's not a top 10 player. He's not a top. I don't see you in the comment sections. Where you at? Y'all have so many comments. You guys are usually good at doing the copy and paste. I don't see you. Where you at? Are you in layover? Where are you? So I just want to throw that shout out there for the people that were hating on Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is still in the playoffs. Last time I checked, he is still in the playoffs. So give my man some respect. And let's talk about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard finished this game, with 28 points. He played, we talk about Luka. Luka Doncic had difficulty scoring on Kawhi. He just did. Now, he hit some tough shots, but Kawhi Leonard was in his bag. He was in his bag tonight. Kawhi Leonard finished the game with 28 points. Help me understand. Help me understand. Who would you rather have right now in the playoffs other than Kawhi Leonard? Who's the player? Now, if you say Kevin Durant, I can understand that. But if you're going to say somebody else, I'm not going to understand. You can't say you would have. Nobody with a straight face can say they would rather have LeBron James over Kawhi Leonard. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. You can't tell me with a straight face you would rather have LeBron James over Kawhi Leonard right now. There's no way you can be serious about that. There's no way. Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the Western Conference right now. And he showed it. He showed it. When it mattered, he delivered. So Dame Dollar to the Lakers could be very interesting. I don't think Damian, first of all, how are they going to make it happen? Unless you're telling me that the Lakers are going to trade LeBron James or they're going to trade Anthony Davis, there's no way they can fit him under the cap. He's not coming to the Lakers. I think that these people throw out these rumors just because they want to keep the Lakers relevant. I don't want to talk about the Lakers right now. I want to talk about teams that are in the I'm sorry. I want to talk about teams that are actually in the playoffs. I don't want to talk about teams that are not in the playoffs. Kawhi scored 200 points, 60%. He joined. Wow, look at that. Thanks for that, Mark. He said Kawhi Leonard scored 200 points on 60% shooting. He joined Shaq, Kareem, and Bernard King as the only other guys to do that. Wow, I didn't even know that. So yeah, I don't want to talk about the Lakers. They lost. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in talking about. I want to talk about the winners. We can't have a situation where a team just pulled out a great Game 7 win, came back in a series that it was difficult for me to see them coming back, and then we're gonna end it talking about the Lakers. Why am I talking about the Lakers? They could talk about the Lakers, and I'm sure they're gonna find a way to talk about them. I don't care to talk about the Lakers. I want to talk about people that are actually winning. This is the thing I was talking about. It always had. You got to always control the narrative. It always has to be back on you. I want to focus on the winners, not the losers. No disrespect. The Lakers, you had your time in the sun. You won your championship last year. Some people are asking, was it the bubble championship? Was it? I don't care. I don't care. You're not in the playoffs. I want to talk about teams that are in the playoffs. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. No, I'm not interested in talking about the Lakers and their off-season plans to get Damian Lillard and go get Michael Jordan out of retirement or some stuff like. They can't get Damian Lillard. There's no way. How are they going to fit him under the cap? I think Damian Lillard is supposed to be earning $40 million. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it financially? How are they going to do it? So I'm not interested in talking about the Lakers. I want to focus on the Clippers, a team that's actually relevant right now to what is actually going on. I'm not interested in talking about the Lakers right now. So first of all, this was a great win. I think there's something I want to say about this, guys. Thank you, guys. I think we got about 600 people in here. I think, and I want to say something quickly. I think that this series with the Clippers coming back from being down, first of all, from dropping the first 2 games at home, going on the road, winning the next 2 games, then dropping Game 5, then winning 2 games in a row, again, just to come back from the series, I think that this is going to have a very, very, very powerful psychological effect on this team moving forward. And I'll give you guys an example. Y'all remember when the Boston Celtics, the 2008 Boston Celtics, when they were making their championship run for the very first time? Do y'all remember when they were playing the Atlanta Hawks with Joe Johnson? Was it Josh Smith and all of these guys that were playing them in the first round? And Al Horford and all these guys? And they took them to what, 7 games? I think they went to 2 7-game series before they even made it to the finals. I think what it did for them was it brought them together because they went through a lot of, like, they went through some serious adversity. And I think it showed them that they could play through difficult situations. I think the Clippers, now that they won this series, I think they're going to be better off for it. Seriously. You go through this type of adversity. Think about it. When the Clippers went down 0-2, the entire sports basketball media were coming down on them. All of them. All of them. They completely wrote them off. And let me just say this real quick. Don't be surprised. Let me say it again. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden Chris Broussard, Skip Bayless, Kendrick Perkins, who's flip-flop on the Clippers so many times, I can't even count how many times he's flip-flop on the Clippers. All of the people that counted out the Clippers, with the exception of Brandon Jennings, who's the other guy that supported Max Kellerman, who I think Max Kellerman secretly supports the Clippers, Don't be surprised if they all flip back to the Clipper side. Do you know why they're going to do that? They're going to do it because they want to latch on to whatever is hot and whatever is going. All of them wrote off the Clippers. They said they don't have the mental toughness. So help me understand. A team that doesn't have mental toughness, how do they come back in a series like this? How do you do it if you don't have mental toughness? All of these guys are going to flip the script again. You can bet it. There's only been a few people, like, consistently, that has supported this team and Kawhi Leonard. A few. You're talking about me. Yes, I'm going to throw myself in there. You're talking about me. You're talking about Max Kellerman, but quietly, and Brandon Jennings. That's about it. Who else? Nick Wright was sitting there. I got to get back on Nick Wright for 1 second. Nick Wright sat there when Brandon Jennings' name was saying, oh, the Brooklyn Nets, they're not going anywhere. And you know why the Lakers are going somewhere? Because they got the #1 ranked defense in the NBA. You see, Nick Wright, if you're not careful, he can sell you a bag of rotten tomatoes, and you think he sold you a bag of gold. Nick Wright sits there and only brings up the stats that help him make his argument. The Lakers were the #1 defense in the NBA. Absolutely. The problem was they were not a very good offensive team. They were, I think, number 21 or number 22 in three-point shooting. So when he was sitting up there talking about, oh, the Lakers are going to go to the finals and they're going to win it all and beat the Brooklyn Nets, how? You got to be, yes, you can stop people, but you also got to be able to score. That was the issue with the Lakers. Look at the New York Knicks. They were the #2 team in defense in the NBA. They could barely get 100 points per game in that series. Does it mean the Knicks were a bad team? No. Does it mean they were a bad defensive team? No. It just means they couldn't score enough. So these analysts who are getting paid millions of dollars a year to come up there and explain basketball to you couldn't tell you that? They didn't see that coming? You couldn't see that coming? The same Nick Wright and these guys who was laughing at Nicolas Batum, laughing at Kawhi Leonard. Y'all remember when they were doing their tears on First Things First, when he got like tier 1, tier 2. Remember when he had Kawhi Leonard in tier 3? Y'all remember that? The same Kawhi? This moving forward, this Kawhi? Y'all remember that? So please, don't be surprised if they jump back on the bandwagon. It's not that they like the Clippers or they're picking the Clippers. They just want to be right. That's all. They're going to say, oh, well, I'm surprised. I didn't know they had that in them. And I'm beginning to become a believer. That's what they're going to say. I'm going to start becoming a believer in the Clipper. So what is this new thing that you saw that you didn't see before? Did they get some new players? No. Rondo didn't even play most of this series. And they're going to go, oh, but the Clippers, yeah, I think they got what it takes now. And then the minute they go back and start losing, they're going to flip on them again. And while we're talking about that, since we're doing the live reaction, Just want to give you guys some of my thoughts. We're going to get off here in about 10, 15 minutes. Let me just say this one thing. Let me talk about Stephen A. Smith. I know Stephen A. Smith is disliked for certain reasons right now in the general public. That's not what I'm focusing on. I'm strictly talking about basketball. I want to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, at every opportunity that he's had, has made fun of Kawhi Leonard and said, Kawhi Leonard, you got to show me what you got with the key dangling, and Kawhi Leonard, blah, 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 blah. So let me ask you guys a question. He said if Kawhi Leonard lost and the Clippers lost the series, he's going to be looking at Kawhi Leonard, right? So help me understand. Luka Doncic and the Mavs just lost the series. You saw the effort that he put forward. It was incredible. So Stephen A. Smith is going to come out and say that the reasons that the Mavs lost that series was because Luka Doncic wasn't the man. Would that not be the most absurd point of analysis you've ever heard? Stephen A. Smith has always been wrong about Kawhi Leonard. Stephen A. Smith is a flat-out Kawhi Leonard hater. He always picks against Kawhi, and he's always wrong. Stephen A. Smith, it baffles me that somebody can get paid that much money to be wrong. And the minute you want to call him on it on TV, he'll cuss you out. It baffles me. Go back to the 2019 season. He picked against, think about this, he picked against Kawhi for 3 straight rounds. He picked against him because he likes to say, well, the only reason that Kawhi Leonard won that championship was because Klay Thompson got, okay, fine, no problem. But you picked Kawhi to lose in the semifinals against the Sixers. What about that? You picked him to lose to the Milwaukee Bucks. You said after game 1, as the series is over, you said after game 2 it was going to be a sweep. So what happened? Mr. I know basketball better than everybody else, Stephen A. Smith, who can never be wrong, who has an ego bigger than the universe, who can never come on TV and say I was wrong. He said all season long that he's not even looking in the direction of the Clippers. The Lakers are the absolute favorites to come out of the Western Conference. The absolute favorites. He didn't look at the Clippers. That's the Stephen A. Smith y'all be listening to talk about basketball. I'm not talking about the Kwame Brown stuff. I've already addressed that. I'm not going back to that Kwame Brown stuff because I've already said my piece. They can have at it. Y'all already know what I think. But when we're talking about basketball, this guy's always wrong. What was the last thing that Stephen A. Smith that was right? Stephen A. Smith picked the Brooklyn Nets to win the championship. Is one of the safest picks you can make. Because if you pick the Brooklyn Nets, they lose, you can say, oh, well, it was their first time together. I never knew. Stephen A. Smith is whatever direction the wind is blowing, that's the direction he's going in. He never even looked at the Clippers. I don't even think it's going to be close with the Clippers and LeBron because you know LeBron and these guys and Now what you got to say now? How is it possible that you're so good at seeing basketball, but you couldn't see how good Kawhi Leonard is? How? How is it possible that you talk about you have faith in LeBron? I have faith in LeBron. LeBron has showed me how, but you don't have any faith in Kawhi Leonard? You don't have any faith in Kawhi Leonard? Thanks for that. You don't have no faith in Kawhi Leonard. All you have is faith in LeBron and KD. Those are the only 2 people. I wonder why that is. Is it because they've done interviews with you? Is that the reason why? Is it the reason why? Is it probably because Kawhi Leonard be seeing you in the hallway and say what's up and keep it pushing? Because he's not trying to kiss the ring? So I'm going to be curious to know what is Stephen A. Smith going to say about the Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers tomorrow. I want to know what Max Kellerman is going to say about not Max Kellerman. Nick Wright is going to say about the Clippers tomorrow. I really don't care what Skip Bayless is going to say because Skip Bayless is just flip-flopping all over the place. Last week he threw, I think, was it on Friday or no, I think it was on game 6. He threw Kawhi Leonard's sneakers in the trash can. Y'all remember that? Skip Bayless, who before the playoffs started, said he picked the Clippers to win it all. Then 5 games later, he threw his shoes in the trash can. Y'all remember that? So this the guy y'all gonna sit up there and listen to and talk about the Clippers. He's gonna say they shocked me. They showed me something I never saw before. I've never seen anything like that. So listen, great win for the Clippers. Great comeback victory. I think they got stronger. I think this is going to help them mentally moving forward. Another thing I want to say real quick about that Utah Jazz series. I haven't spent any time thinking about it. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow. I think that's going to be a hell of a series. I think it's going to be a hell of a series. And don't be surprised that the Western Conference Finals, if the Clippers make it through, don't be surprised if you see the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets for another rematch in the Western Conference Finals. Don't be surprised. We may get a little bit of deja vu as well these coming playoffs. So that's what I think as well on that one. Kawhi Leonard is 100%. This hypothetical question, which team would win Clippers with Kawhi Leonard, PG, Giannis, or KD? Yeah, Kawhi Leonard. That's a good question. It depends it depends who they're playing with, really. If you're talking about like a basketball game on the street, I would probably pick Giannis and KD just because of the height advantage. If you're talking about like a 2-on-2 game, these guys are massive players. Like Giannis is almost 7 foot tall. KD is almost 7 foot tall. Paul George is 6'8". Kawhi Leonard is 6'7". So they're going to have a height advantage. If you're talking about in a basketball game, like with other players, then I got to see who else they're playing with. But I guess I understand your. I think I see what you're saying. So real quick before I go, a lot of people have been asking, what about DeMarcus Cousins? What about DeMarcus Cousins? What about DeMarcus Cousins? DeMarcus Cousins, the reason they didn't play him, I think, was because of the matchup, the series. You saw the Clippers had to go small. I don't think it would have made any sense to put DeMarcus Cousins on the floor for not even 5 seconds, to be quite honest with you. I don't see what he would be bringing to the floor on the defensive side of the floor. So the Clippers did not need to go big. They needed to stay small. They lost those first 2 games because they played big. Moving forward, they're going to be playing against Rudy Gobert. And these guys expect to see more DeMarcus Cousins, Serge Ibaka. I would hope Serge Ibaka will be available because they will most likely probably need him, and expect to see more Ivica Zubac. I would say that in the second round. Another thing I want to say, just moving forward real quick, I think it's going to be a very chippy series in round 2. I think there's going to be some elbows being thrown. I think there's going to be some temper tantrums on the court. I think it's going to be a chippy series. Don't forget, Paul George was on that Oklahoma City Thunder team that played against the Utah Jazz when Russell Westbrook was there, when Carmelo Anthony was there. There may be some of that there. The Utah Jazz are a physical team. Do not be surprised with that. Also, don't be surprised if that series goes 7 games as well. That's all I'm going to say with that, because the Jazz are no joke. This is all I want to say with that. So anyway, guys, those are just my live thoughts. A big congratulations to all the people that were supporting the team. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and all of these guys. And also shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. They had a very good game, strong game, and shout out to Luka Doncic. It was amazing. So those are my live thoughts. This is the first time we're going live after a game. So we decided we wanted to surprise you guys. So thank you guys for being a part of it. And all these people that are part of this live, we really appreciate that. And we catch you guys tomorrow, man. Have a good one. Have a good one. Enjoy this victory. Catch y'all later. Peace.